Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Today I'm going to be showing you the third and final card from a stamp set called Wild and Sweet. If you want to see the one for the panda and the koala, go back a couple of weeks on my blog, search for it, and you'll find it there. But today we're using the raccoon. And I'm also taking a sentiment from Timeless Arrangements. This stamp set and die cuts is incredible. I have made some incredible cards that you're going to be seeing later. But I really thought this was a good, you can use it for a birthday. You can use it for, hey, hi, how are you, that kind of thing. So we're going to use that small stamp set. I've got the measurements. I'll put this a little bit aside. If you're on YouTube, you can go to my website. It's stampmesilly.com. While we're here, we might as well talk. If you have any questions, or if you don't already have a demonstrator and want a free catalog, you can email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. If you see any products that you want to order, go to my website at jandufour.stampinup.net. I'll put that aside. The project sheet I'm talking about is this. It's got the picture, all of the supplies, the cutting instructions, and the assembly instructions. So let's start with the cutting instructions. We need a base white, 5.5 by 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I used the basic white thick. And then a new color called Copper Clay at 4 by 5 1/4, and then Pebbled Path, which is 3 3/4 by 5, and then our basic white, and this is not the thick, it's just the regular basic white at 3.5 by 4 3/4. And that way we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp it twice, because I always do. I'll set this aside. I'm going to use our stamp positioner that I made. If you're curious about it, you can go back and to my website at stampmesilly.com and put a search in for stamp positioner. There are two of them. This is the one that is with the case, and the other one is an L-shaped one. But this is what we're going to stamp. We'll take out the raccoon. And because I had the sentiment over to the side, we're going to make sure, here's the piece that we need to stamp. I'm going to kind of position it, oops, and it's sticking to me, kind of position it in the center up and down, but slightly to the left, and that leaves a more open space. I want it a little bit more this way, and straight if we can all help it. All right, and you just close it. It works the same way as most stamp positioners do, but it only cost me less than $2, and that was because of the cost of the case. Everything else is pretty inexpensive. All right, and we're using another new color, Pebbled Path, to stamp it. It's not as harsh. I got ink all over me. It's not as harsh as black can be, especially if you're leaving it uncolored. But it also is just a really nice brownish, taupish, grayish kind of color. It's hard to explain. You have to see it, but I'm not usually into the natural colors, and I absolutely adore this thing. I'm going to be using it, I think, unless I'm doing something that I'm afraid will run, I might even use it instead of basic black. It's just that nice. So as long as you make sure it's up in the corner, and then you press all over. And look at that. Isn't that perfect? Oh, so pretty. And I'm going to do it again just for fun. It does well if you misstamp, as long, again, as you have it up in the corner. You can restamp it, works that well. The L-shaped one that is in that video comes in handy for other types of positioning needs, if you will. And there you go. We got two. I do give it a second or two to dry. It doesn't really need drying, but I don't know, I just like let it soak into the paper, I guess is what I'm thinking of. Now, in this particular case, we are using a couple of Stampin' Blends, and I used the copper clay. And I also used Old Olive for the grass. And I didn't get fancy. I guess I did a little bit of shading, but really I'm going to show you what it looks like when you just color it in and don't do anything. And that way you can see that really you don't have to do a lot. And I love the Stampin' Blends because it doesn't matter what color or what direction you color in. As it dries, it just becomes right. It doesn't, you don't see lines where you colored in the wrong direction or any of that. I absolutely adore this Stampin' Blends. And they're a lot more economical than other ones. And, you know, I've used other ones. I'm not going to lie, I have. But these are a little bit different, but, you know, it doesn't have a chiseled edge, which I've never used on other ink or what am I trying to, alcohol markers. So these work great. And of course the other thing is they're exactly the right color. I'm going to let that sit for a minute so it soaks in, you get a better idea. And then this one is the same thing, and oops, I used the small end and what? Oh no, the tip just looks funny. I'm just like making little lines. I'm not really coloring. Same with down at the bottom. So you don't get that harsh kind of finish. And you can see I'm being so very careful. I am not. Okay, and that's it for the grass. I'm done. Now, there's nothing wrong with this way this looks. Just having used the light, because the stippling of black, or in this case Pebbled Path, kind of shades it for you. If you want to get a little more fancy, then you take the hints that Stampin' Up! Tells you, like where it should be darker. Notice I am not coloring. I am just adding a little bit where the shadowy effect is. And then I go back with the lighter color and blend it all in. And as it dries, you will see there are no lines. It just disappears. And it just is perfect. I am not an artist. I don't profess to be one. But I can get pretty good results all by myself. I like it a lot. It works out good for me. Anyway, then we need to stamp the sentiment, hope your day is filled with everything good. Make sure it's right side up. That would be important. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this and put that about, that doesn't look like it's right about here. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the other one, even though I'm not coloring the other one. That way I won't have to worry about keeping this stamp out. I can put it away after I clean it up. All right, let's get rid of the ink before I stick my fingers in there again. And there you have it. This is a hint. Some people say it's because your blade is dull, but I have a brand new trimmer and it does it. I just think it depends on how hard you push, but sometimes you can feel, and I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of, it's where the paper sunk into the little edge of the trimmer. You can make those disappear by doing this. It doesn't always do it, and I don't know the real technical reason, but anyway, it's gone now. So then you just add some liquid adhesive or whatever other adhesive you use for your choice. And this is a super fast card. Great one for multiples. And let's see, whoops, let's Try to get that in a little bit more even spot. Try to pull it away a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to put this one on. And I, don't always use this many layers. I just wanted to bring out the copper clay color of the raccoon. Of course, if you use a different color when you color your raccoon, then you can use a different color there too. I just wanted it framed up a little bit. And you could either have a pebbled path or for the card base or the white. When I made that particular card, I had used up all of my pebbled path. Yes, that is how much I like it. I'm going to try to get off on that tangent so that you can see other colors, but I was really enjoying it. All right, let's scoot this over a little bit. There we go. And then, of course, you have to put some kind of little bling on it. And since this is real nature-y in feeling because of the natural colors and the animals, I took one of these and I put it over here. This is brushed brass butterflies, and I always have to say it slow because that's hard to say. I hope you enjoyed this card. Be sure to go to my website to get the project sheet. That's stampmesilly.com, or email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.